drawing section, so bear with me. Okay, so we are going to be doing our random drawing section. Now, I did just count this out. We are down to 10 words left in each column. So to make my life slightly simpler, I'm going to do a random number between 1 and 10. And we are going to count down the available words in order to get to the current word we are going to be using. So if we look at the first value, that is going to be the number 2. So the second word on that has not been crossed out yet is coconuts. So I'm going to cross that out right away. Now we are going to get our second number. That number is going to be the number 8. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that is going to be the word beg as our verb. And if we look at our third random number, that is the number 6. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have the word vast as our adjective. So let me cross these out. We have the word beg, we have vast, and so this is what we are going to be drawing. And I think that I already have a pretty good idea of how we can spin this one. So perhaps we have a I think this one isn't too difficult to grasp. So we are going to have perhaps a island here, and hopefully that finished out. It did. We can even take some of the airbrush, grab some gray. We're going to spread this as wide as possible, and we're going to make this a sandy beach. So we have this sandy island. We are going to have some water. Now, this water, being in a tropical region, is going to be not necessarily perfectly blue. It may be slightly an aqua color. So we're going to start with that and draw it in. Let me make sure that we are to the edge, and I should be able to color that in. And obviously, as we see the water is reaching the island, we need to actually adjust this coloration, but perhaps we can take advantage of the marker tool and have some transparency. So maybe we can kind of do this, and it will look very bad, but I think you get the picture that I'm going for. That looks terrible. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to continue this straight line method because we started with it. So if I go down to the bottom here and just finish it off. So this is supposed to represent the water lapping up on the shore. So obviously you shouldn't be able to see any of the sand because this is some weird 3/4 top-down view. So if we have a, we're going to have a tree up here, and we are going to do Jono's patent pending coconut palm tree drawing technique, where we start with these weird kind of spikety shapes, and then we are going to finish that off down there, perhaps erase the inside of here, And then we are going to need two different types of brown. So if we go to the color editor, we are going to grab our first brown, which is going to be relatively straightforward. We don't want it to be too close to the sand color. We want it to have a little contrast, so we're going to grab a kind of just normal brown, and we want to alternate the individual coloring here just so we have some contrast as well. So we're going to make this a little bit darker, a little bit grayer. We're going to grab the new one. We're going to add that in, and you can see that this is starting to become the trunk of a palm tree. Now, palm trees in the wild tend to have all of their little spikety parts as opposed to the palm trees that you normally see when you are perhaps driving along a road in a beach town. Now, the reason that the spikities are no longer there is because they're actually cleaned off. They are somewhat of what the Boy Scouts of America would call widowmakers, because they are not strongly connected to the actual tree itself, so they tend to fall off when it comes to heavy winds. So when you are in a large population area, it's not wise to have those even as an option, because we don't like people getting hit in the head with wood. So we are going to continue the Jono method for drawing palm trees, and the method is now to randomly draw the spikety shapes in a kind of spherical shape. So what you're going to do is every time you see a nice angle, we're going to add more into there. And you want to change the angle that things are happening at, so that you can kind of get this idea that there's maybe some three-dimensionality to it. And now we have this palm tree. So we're going to select, we'll just go with the base green that Paint uses, and we're going to randomly color in. So I do see that some of these have not been completed. You want to make sure that you complete all of the lines here so that you're not having any problems of color leaking into other sections. That tends to be a curse in the MS Paint realm, because if you're too zoomed out, then it's hard to see that. So we're going to go back to our green, and perhaps we can just use the two different types of green that are available. So you want to go to everywhere that isn't necessarily touching another section that you've already colored green. So if we go there, you can see that I have unsuccessfully completed the lines. So we can draw this in here and do like so. So here we go. Now we can grab the other type of green. Now this current configuration, there's actually a mathematical proof, I believe, of how you can color, how many colors it takes to color in a certain amount of shapes that are surrounding each other. It has to do with maps. And maybe I'll go and find that video. I think there's something on Numberphile about it. But in this case, we are actually going to be needing at least 3 colors. So the reason for that is that we have this here. We're going to have this here. But the problem is that this shape here is touching both the dark green and the lime green. So we are actually going to need more colors. And we may actually need 4. Unless I want to just break down and make this that neon green. So I think I'm going to do that just to simplify things. So if we go and grab perhaps maybe kind of a murkier brown green, then that will show maybe some difference in the liveliness of the actual branches themselves. So there's our palm tree, and we are just going to put one lone coconut on the palm tree. So let me grab black first. We're going to draw our circle here. We are going to kind of unfill the circle, and then we'll fill it in with a different color afterwards. So what I need to do is I need to fix the lines here, and there, that looks a little bit better, although it looks worse as well. So maybe I can just barely go in and do so. So if I grab our new brown, we can color in like that, and then we may just need to touch up along the edges here. It would be easier if I zoomed in, but go big or go home. Am I right? Um, okay. And then finally, we will put the signature 3 little dots on there to signify that it is indeed a coconut. Now, this has not necessarily satisfied at least at least 2 of our 3 possible words to work with. We have added a coconut into the scene here, but we have nothing to do with begging or vast. So perhaps we have a person down here, and we are going to draw them just kind of like a stick figure shape. If they were stranded on an island, they wouldn't have too much food available, but I think that's going to play into the actual scene that we're going for. So if they are on an island, perhaps they have some raggedy pants on, so we will have comically large tattered pants for this stick figure shape, and then we will erase the excess here, and we will color this in with our one of our palm tree colors, just so the eye will be tracking between the two, and we are going to have this stick figure. They're going to have a head, and they are going to have their arms out begging. But what is this? There's a thought bubble. And we are going to have they want a very large matrix of coconuts. So if we have a coconut here that is in a mimicked shape to the actual coconut that is available, we can go here and select this coconut if I am careful enough. I don't think I was, but you know, live and learn. And we paste this coconut next to it, paste this coconut below it, and we are going to say that this matrix continues in all directions to a n by n matrix, not vector. They are wishing to have a large quantity of coconuts. One might even say this is a vast amount of coconuts, and they are begging for said vast amount of coconuts. So all we need now is perhaps a background color to kind of liven up the entire picture here, and I think that we can finish the picture here with perhaps a beard to show the actual passing of time as this person goes through the stages of grief. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope this satisfies your necessity to experience random drawings. But I'm going to be signing off. I'm not sure if there will be a stream tomorrow. Kind of just depends on if I'm feeling up to it, and also if I get enough work done in terms of schoolwork. But I may need to focus on the actual schoolwork itself. So don't get your hopes up too much, I would say. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and goodbye.